Charles's shocking vow I must save my mother's dogs from Andrew's chaos inside Royal Lodge. The royal hostage crisis. King Charles moves to seize Queen Elizabeth's corgis from Andrew and Fergie in shock power play. Fire prologue. The Crown draws a new battle line. The palace wars are far from over. Just when the public thought the scandal of the Royal Lodge eviction was the final word on Prince Andrew's spectacular downfall, King Charles III has reportedly initiated a new, emotionally charged power play. This time, the stakes aren't just property and prestige. They are the most cherished living symbols of the late Queen Elizabeth II, her beloved corgis. Sources deep within the royal orbit are whispering a shocking development. King Charles is allegedly preparing to seize the two famous corgis, Muick and Sandy, currently residing with the disgraced Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson at their embattled residence. This isn't about cruelty, it's about respect and the king's profound discomfort over the animals' welfare amidst the chaos surrounding his brother. The king is described as being deeply unsettled by the arrangement, fueled by the memory that the late queen was ferociously protective of those dogs. The question now is not if the dogs will be moved, but when the dramatic handover will occur. Revolving Light Scene 1, The Unsettled King and the Corgi Legacy. The world remembers the tender moment when Andrew and Fergie promised to care for Muick and Sandy after the Queen's passing. It was seen as a final, bittersweet act of reconciliation, a small piece of the Queen's legacy given to her troubled son. However, the mood has dramatically shifted. The drama began with the forced eviction of Andrew from the expansive Royal Lodge. This move has created an atmosphere of instability that King Charles simply cannot tolerate when it comes to his mother's precious pets. The corgis are not just pets, they are living relics of the Queen's soul. They represent her personal sanctuary, an insider revealed. The king feels they must be moved to an environment that reflects the dignity the Queen always afforded them, not one steeped in eviction notices and uncertainty. The king's anxiety is rooted in the Queen's own fierce devotion. She had very specific, almost ceremonial, requirements for the care of her dogs. With Andrew fighting fiercely to keep his home, the king reportedly fears the corgis are caught in the crossfire of this messy family wreckage. This is no longer just about Andrew's bad judgment, it's about preserving his mother's sacred memory. Tornado Scene 2, The Andrew Fergie hostage stand. Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, who are already facing intense pressure to vacate Royal Lodge, are reportedly living in fear of the king's decision. For Fergie, who bonded closely with the Queen through their mutual love of dogs, losing Muick and Sandy would be the ultimate crushing blow. The dogs have become a bizarre sort of emotional hostage in this ongoing battle. Losing the corgis would strip Andrew of one of his last remaining, tangible links to his mother and his former life within the core royal family. They see the dogs as their final defense, a source close to the Yorks claimed. It's the one thing Andrew could point to and say, "My mother trusted me with this." If Charles takes them, it's the final, irrevocable sign that Andrew has lost everything. The logistics of the potential seizure are fraught with tension. Will Charles send royal staff to retrieve them? Will the handover be a private, agonizing moment between brothers? Or will Andrew and Fergie try to stage a desperate standoff? This highly emotional move is seen as the tipping point in Andrew's relationship with his brother and the broader monarchy. Light Bulb Scene 3, The Dignity of the Corgi Destination. If King Charles goes through with this dramatic retrieval, the next question is, where will Muick and Sandy go? The most likely scenario involves them being relocated to a quieter, more stable residence within the royal family's direct care. Names being floated include Sandringham, the late Queen's personal estate, offering space and familiarity. The Wales's new residence, though unlikely due to Kate and William's busy lives, it would signify a full handover to the monarchy's future core. An undisclosed keeper, a trusted, private member of the royal staff. Ensuring maximum peace and stability, a solution that would mirror the Queen's desire for their quiet care. By moving the corgis, King Charles is performing a calculated act of institutional maintenance. He is sending a strong, clear message: anything directly associated with the late Queen's private life will be protected from. The dysfunction and volatility that currently plagues Prince Andrew's sphere. The corgis represent the untouchable sanctity of the Queen's memory, and Charles will risk family conflict to uphold their dignity. Sparkle's epilogue, the final blow. The saga of Andrew's eviction was messy. The fight over the corgis is heartbreaking. It illustrates the extent of Andrew's isolation, that even his brother, the king, does not trust him to care for the family's most precious, four-legged treasures. This isn't just about two dogs. It's the final, symbolic blow to Prince Andrew's connection to his royal past. The king is determined to close this chaotic chapter and secure the legacy of his mother. The royal world holds its breath, waiting for the dramatic seizure order. When the corgis leave Royal Lodge, it will mark the end of an era, and the most devastating kind of loss for the disgraced Duke and Duchess of York.